So, guys, I want you to take a look at what this man just said. Just listen to this for yourself.
Don't hide it. APC, as it is now, and its government can only win election in 2027 if they rig. I don't see, based on what is going on, how citizens can willingly go and vote APC. Already, I mean, it's sociological knowledge.
The failure of the APC is glaring, before every Nigerian. Everybody has seen these people failing Nigeria to the core. And this man said, if you hear that APC ever won election in 2027, it is only by rigging, nothing but rigging. And that is the fact. So take a look at Hope, guys. Guess what? Peter Obi described these people in his last interview. People who have captured the state of Nigeria just for themselves.
Tinubu have kept to his campaign promises. Throughout the campaign, he consistently maintained that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And that is done very well. I would say excellent. I'll give him excellent pass mark. And it's very simple. Dollar was 460, is now 1,005. Fuel was 238, is now about 700. Diesel was 844, is now 1,415. A bag of rice is 35,000, is now about 80. A bag of beans was similar, 35, is now about 90. Gari was 27.28, is now 49.50. A tuber of yam was about 2,007 to 3,009, is about 10,000. Tomato basket is about 40,000. That is over 150,000. Electricity is 66 kilowatts, is now over 200. You can go on and on. Our debts, even bread, which is a basic thing other countries that subside, like Egypt, bread, smaller, medium bread was 450 naira. It's not 900 naira. The big one is 900, is 1,005. Our debt, like I mentioned, was 87. By end of last year, it was actually 97. The highest we've done within that short period. Now is about over 100 trillion. In fact, this year alone, the government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, have issued and taken from the system borrowing of over 16 trillion naira. You can imagine the interest at almost 20%. It's about 3.2 trillion after 12 months. At that, last year, in a period of 9 months, we spent about 5.7 trillion servicing as debt interest on our payments. So add that. So overall, if done well, let's even go back to the overall of the economy. By the time he took over last year, we were still the biggest economy in Africa with $477 billion as our GDP, followed by South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco. Today, we are number 4. South Africa is number 1 now, I think about $373 billion. Egypt is second, $347 billion, followed by Algeria, 266. And we are now 252 billion GDP economy. It's even worse when you go to our per capita. We are actually 1/4 of per capita of the list of these nations that I mentioned. South Africa is over 6,000 per capita. Egypt is 4,000 plus. So is Algeria. And then Morocco, which among this is supposed to be the fifth, at 404,210, and we are 1,000 plus. So we actually gone low. We're coming from a low of per capita of 3,000 plus in 2014. So with every other thing have headed south. You see, insecurity is worsened.
Well, let's
corruption has worsened.
Right. Let's
adherence to the rule of law has worsened. The country has been nepotism is at the highest. The first thing you do as a leader who inherited a difficult situation is to lead by example, and it starts by your own style, by your behavior, your conduct, how you manage the resources. You cannot say that things are difficult when you're living in conspicuous consumption. The things you don't do. Nigeria today is a country with the highest amount of people without homes. Over 24 million. Yet, you're spending 20-something billion to build a house for one person. Mr. Johnson, are you saying that a vice president of Nigeria cannot live in a 4-bedroom house? You live in the UK. 10 Downing Street is 3 rooms. That is an economy that is almost 10 times our economy today. And the Prime Minister lives in 3 rooms. So that's where you start. You start by living like somebody who is coming through difficulty, who is facing difficulty, who wants to change things. That's how we do it. You don't engage in what we've been doing, buying vehicles, partying and everything as if things are normal. When you say there's difficulty, you need to deal with the issue of cutting the cost of governance. That's where you start. So you need to deal with the issue of massive corruption. That is showing that I am now, okay, things are bad. Just have served the system where I came in and found that things are bad. And we start by cutting the cost of governance.
So is that what you'd like to see him I mean, the first year is gone. You know, that's a fact. But he's now entering his second year. Or he has entered. What are the things that
you have to also show a clear plan. It is not enough to say, oh, we're going to go through problem. If we're going to go through problem, this is very simple. You enter a plane. There's a bad weather. There's going to be a turbulence. The pilot says, we're going to go through bad weather. It's going to take us maybe 1 hour, 2 hours because of this. And he follows it through. That is not the time. In that bad weather, everybody, even the crew, are asked to sit down. That's not time to start serving food and wine and everything when everything is up and down. That's why we're there. We're in turbulence and people are still dancing and everything. I always say what happened to the Titanic is what is happening in Nigeria. While the plane was going on, the people on the upper deck were busy dancing until the whole thing collapsed. That's what is happening now. We should change and do things rightly. We can change and manage corruption and everything and all that.
Well, hopefully the people in power and in the know are listening to you. But let me
look at Hope Uzodinma. This was on the day of democracy. I mean, June 12th. Look at him giving his democracy speech. And during that session, NEPA took light. Do you know what? Hope Uzodinma said, this is Nigeria. I mean, it is a normal thing in Nigeria for us not to have electricity. Listen to him for yourself.
That the lecture topic is on worldwide Nigeria.
no good education, no good hospital, nothing for the masses. And the worst of it is the hunger we are going through now. It is clear now to everybody that the APC cannot win election in Nigeria without rigging. Tinubu cannot come back in 2027 without him rigging. And that is why Nigerians should start asking questions about INEC chairman, about the judiciary, what are the reforms, and even if there are reforms, are they going to implement it? We saw the unique reform, the passage of the bill to reform our electoral law that happened during the 2023 presidential election. And we saw how INEC Mahmood ignore all those to tell us that they had a glitch. We're told that results were going to be transmitted live and direct. Nigerians will be seeing it happening live. But at that time, when we expected all this to happen, they told us that they had glitches. And that is why we just keep wondering if Nigeria will ever come out from the mess or from the state capture that these politicians have captured this nation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.